Hey, it's John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, and welcome to the Lead Change Empowerment Podcast, motivating people to lead the change they want to see.
Welcome to the Lead Change Empowerment Podcast. This podcast was created to empower you in your personal, business, health, financial, and family areas of life. If you find value in this podcast, please help us by leaving a review in iTunes, Spreaker, or SoundCloud. And now let's bring on your host, empowerment speaker, author, and parenting expert, Steve Robinson.
Welcome to the Lead Change Empowerment Podcast. I am your host, Steve Robinson, and as always, I am grateful for you as the listener, grateful to be a part of your lives as you are a part of mine. And we are here again to help lead the change from where you are to where you want to be and remain a little bit more consistent with the podcast. We're coming out definitely every week. We're putting out a new show each week. Jump back into 2 as time permits. Have a couple other things going on, but that's no excuse. Got to remain consistent across the board. And speaking of which, today's topic is how to take back the power over you. And let me tell you what that looks like. Let's talk about it. You ever heard this or thought about this to yourself? If I only had this job, if my relationship only looked like this, then I would be fine. If I had more money, it would be so different. I would never have to, if I would have never did this or went here or said that, then things would be so much better. Sound familiar yet? Yeah, I know. I said it too. I felt that way as well. And believe me, everyone has been in a situation or currently in that place where you give the power of yourself to other people or something outside of you, a circumstance outside of you. Now, I know I've found myself there, when I thought in order to be happy or complete, I needed to be at a certain status amongst peers, have a certain job, be making a certain amount of money, and not realizing that I was actually giving power to external factors, relations, career, etc., instead of being grateful for where I am and learning to do better. And now in the back of the mind, which is your subconscious, is working all the time thinking, if it doesn't happen, then guess what? I failed. A lot of you are simply thinking, I failed. You're giving this power away. You're not taking control of your life to begin to think I can have the life that I want to have for myself, for those around me. But it all has to start with you. At the end of the day, a lot of times I talk with young people and I ask them, when they say, well, I did this because such and such said this, or this person posted this, or this person Snapchatted or live this. And what I tell them is that you're giving up your power of yourself to someone else. You cannot allow someone else to dictate whether you're going to be happy, whether you feel great about today, because you're giving up that power. And an example of that is as soon as you wake up in the morning or the last thing before you go to bed, you're on your social media, so you're trying to find out what other people are thinking and saying. Especially if it's searching to see if it's something about you, you're turning that power over. If you're looking at the bank account like, oh, I don't have this much money, so I'm not going to be able to do these things. Hey, you can change that. And before I go, I'm going to give you about 4 things to help you take the power back over your life. You got to get to know yourself as first of all. We got to get to know who we are, make that connection with the real you. I'd heard this thing, a quote one time that said, when I learned to take responsibility for my thoughts, my feelings, and my behaviors, I then took the power back. Say it again. When I learned to take responsibility for my thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, I then began to take the power back over my life. And that's what I'm talking about, is just taking the power back. You got to make that connection with you. Understand that if you fail at something, it's simply growing. You're simply growing. You're learning. When you had someone, it's basically like this. You have a house full of people, right? and everyone's trying to watch a different show that comes on at the same time. And that's what you're doing when you're that one remote. There was only one remote for the one TV. And it's only that one show that could come on. But what you do is, instead of it being your show, the remote is in this person's hand and they're clicking to this channel. The other person is putting it on this channel. The other person is putting it on that channel. And that's what you begin to do when you relinquish power of yourself to other people. Stop giving up the power of yourself to that. Take the remote back. It's kind of like you got to take the remote control. Take the remote control of your life back. And sometimes you might need to put pause for yourself. Sometimes you need to rewind. Sometimes you need to hit stop. Sometimes you need to record some of the things and play on. Maybe you need to fast forward past some things or past some people. There's different situations for the remote control of your life. Get out of the box. A lot of people, we're in a society where if society's not saying that you're beautiful, or society not saying that your relationships look like everything that's put on TV or that you read about, or if you don't have the certain type of financial status, or if you don't have the career that society is putting you in, get out of the box of other people's opinions. Get out of the box of other people's opinions. And I'm going to leave you with a few things before I go. This is going to be real good. I want you to use these 4 things as you begin to move forward. The first one is, think, what do you really want in life? What do you really want in life, and what do you want your life to be like? Is it something like, do you want to go back to school? Do you want to enhance your talents, enhance your skills, to do a certain kind of work, have a different home? Do you want, if you don't have children, if you have children, make your own decisions about a treatment. Stop putting up with disabling side effects. Stop putting up with disabling side effects, which is the people around you or the opinions of others. Stop doing that. The next thing we want to do, make a list, write it down. Make a list of the things that have kept you from doing the things you wanted to do. Now, that could be, lack of money or education or the skill. Maybe some of the symptoms you've seen, maybe someone in your life insists on you making decisions for you. You need to write down some of the things that have came against you to stop you from having the life you want, that stopped you. Because that way you have to identify what's going on. We must identify where our problems are first. In this process of taking control of your own life, you need to change the nature of the relationship with some of the people. I mean, instead of, it depends on who it is and what it is. It's like if you had a doctor want to tell you about certain options that you wanted to choose, and you got to get the one that felt best for you or something that feels the best for you. You have to make the decision like, hey, this is what I think I should do. And not saying like your physical, like your physical doctor, but the people around you that's trying to doctor in your life, maybe to put those certain things in your head and process. Another thing you have to do is educate yourself so you can have as much information to make good, sound decisions and take control. You must educate yourself. You got to get that. You got to get the resources, whether it be books, whether it be, you have to look up some things, talk to people, go ask somebody that you trust. And then here's another thing. If someone is in a status or doing something that you want to do, see how they did it. See some of the steps that they took. Even ask for help. Listen, you will not get anywhere in life without the help of someone else. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's when you fail, is when you're scared to ask for help. And then the last thing that I want to say, create a plan for making your life the way you want it to be. Create the plan. Figure out the best way for you to get what it is that you want, or to be the way that you want. Then start working at it, whether it be changing your finances, changing your health, changing your relationships, changing your career. If it's the health-wise, hey, how do I plan to get to this next step or whatever your goal is? And inside of your why, you have to go another why. So say, well, for example, I want to make $1 million. Why? And then once you answer that, why? So I can have this. So why do you want to have that? You have to go a couple levels deep into your why to really get to the root of what it is that you want. Plan, make the plan, create the plan, write it down. Listen, If you don't write it down, it's not going to happen. If you don't write it down, it's not going to happen because it's enough things going on around you that can sidetrack you, that will take away from what you're trying to do. So write your plan down and execute it. So to recap those things on how to take back the power in your life. 1, think what you want. What do you really want your life to be like? Think about it. Think, what do you really want your life to be like? Write that down. List the things that have been holding you back from doing the things that you've been doing. You know, the things that you want to do. List those distractions. List the things, whether it be the people, the places, whatever it is. List some of the distractions that's holding you back. Educate yourself. Get more information. Learn as much as you can to make the right decisions. Find out what it is that you need to do to take that control. And last, create the plan for making your life the way you want it to be. Write it down. Write it down. Now, that's it for today. I thank you for your time. As always, I'm going to give you the blueprint: prayer, patience, progress, in that order. Thank you for your time. Have a super, super Thursday.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to leave a review to help our podcast grow and reach others. Continue to be great and remember the blueprint: prayer, patience, progress, in that order.